So guys, this is going to be a blast from the past for me, okay? We're going to be responding to a YouTuber whom I used to be a pretty damn big fan of when I was a teenager. It's crazy to say this, I'm 25 now, and I was 16 when I discovered this YouTuber and would watch him frequently. His name is Rags. I'll go ahead and show the screen here. If you don't know him, you'll know his avatar with the little pixel sunglasses. Yeah, you probably know this guy, even if you haven't seen his content before. I must confess, back in 2016, I was quite the Rags fan. Now, to give you a reason why, back then he wasn't really doing... I mean, he was occasionally, and I was pretty chuddy back then, but he made videos about PC gaming. I would argue at the time, and probably still to this day, the best videos about PC gaming. And it was mostly videos centered around responding to misinformation about, like, different gaming platforms. I know this will sound silly, but when you're a teenager and your main hobby is gaming, and your main platform is PC, the console war actually seems like a worthwhile, serious topic worth, like, arguing and debating about. And it was fun stuff, to be fair, right? Like, a lot of the people making videos about how PC is bad were making really dumb, blatantly wrong arguments, not even subjective arguments about opinion, but statements they were trying to pass off as factual that were just objectively untrue. And so it was possible to make a video responding to someone about why they think PC is better than, or console is better than PC, and you could actually debunk their arguments objectively. It wasn't like, here's why I like console over PC. It was, this is why console is better than PC. And so those videos were fun to see debunked, right? Like, they were really bad videos. The arguments were terrible. And so seeing them taken apart by someone like Rags, who made very entertaining, well-made content, especially for the time, it was addictive as fuck. I probably watched every PC Master Race related video that Rags ever made. I can't really say for sure, but just knowing that I threw his content on while I did my homework and while I gamed, I probably watched all of it. To be honest, I probably saw it all. And sadly, a few years after his big blow up in the realm of PC Master Race content, obviously, the Gamergate stuff was really big at the time, and, he's a gamer. And despite being clearly a furry, and also openly bisexual, though I don't know if he's openly bisexual anymore, he was when I watched him a lot back then, he finds himself leaning more right. I remember he'd always say he was like a libertarian, or whatever, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I could see him being a libertarian, but nowadays he's very lost in the sauce on this whole, like, culture war thing. He seems very invested in the idea of games getting worse because of woke, and that kind of sucks. I haven't been able to really watch his content anymore while keeping a straight face. I've tuned in from every once in a while when he puts out something that seems interesting, but I had this video recommended to me, and I thought it'd be cool to check out. People thought that I'd have some things to say about it, and I think I will. It's a long one. Rags makes some pretty long videos, so we can't watch the whole thing in a reasonable time frame, but we'll take a nice big bite out of it and, chew on what we get, as it were to say, and we'll check out the video, see what he has to say. The video is about how anti-wokes are possibly worse than wokes. It's a very weird way of phrasing it, but okay. I think this video is meant to be a response to people claiming that anti-woke figures are worse than those who are woke. I'm guessing that's the claim he's going to try and debunk. So let's check it out. Let's see.
Hey there. I found a really terrible video. Let's watch it.
I have my pronouns in my bio.
Cringe.
This has made a number of supposedly rational people very angry.
Are they really angry, or are they just poking fun at you? Let's see what they say.
I mean, I'd say it's probably anger, Like, I see a lot of dumb people on the internet every day, and it has to hit me somewhere to make me want to type out a comment, Like, I see tons of dumb shit online. Half the shit I see online is dumb. But to get me to go, I'm gonna type a response. It's gotta be, like, the kind of dumb that gets to me, specifically, that I have, like, a pet peeve for. For me, it's flat earthers. If I see a flat earther, I can't help but respond to them. It gets me actually mad. I will not deny it. I'm actually mad when I see a flat earther say some dumb flat earth shit. And that's why I would leave a comment similar to what they're leaving. So yeah, like your voice is annoying, and the fact that you are a they them gives you no credibility at all. You are the definition of cringe, puke. It's like these are comments where they're trying to say like you're annoying, you have no credibility because pronouns in bio. Like they're literally doing the meme of like pronouns in bio couldn't possibly be making a good argument. Like the arguments in the video could be bad, but like they're not making a good case for why when they say it's because of pronouns.
Your voice is annoying, and the fact that you are a they-them gives you no credibility
Oh,
at
read
all.
it.
You are the definition of cringe, puke. Yeah, this doesn't sound very angry. They just sound annoyed. This video...
But it doesn't sound angry, they just sound annoyed. If you're annoyed by someone, you would stop watching the video. Come on. We're already in that, like... I feel like Rags made better arguments and had a better thought process when I watched him. Maybe it's just rose-tinted goggles, to be fair. It's rose-tinted glasses, but... little pixelated rose-tinted glasses. But, like... I could follow his thought process, clearly, back then. Here it's like... people making deliberately hurtful comments meant to make the creator of the video feel bad, and he's like, yeah, no, they're just annoyed by this person. They're not like angry at them for existing and expressing opinions they don't like. Like we're actually arguing against the idea that these commenters leaving mean comments aren't upset at the opinions of the creator that they don't like. Like, come on. This is such a, like, why even challenge this idea? He's challenging this claim despite it having no importance, most likely, to the overall point of the video. Maybe he thinks that if he cedes ground on the idea that these comments are from, like, angry people, then that will lead or give territory to the video to make a argument off of that as the basis. So he doesn't want to, like, cede that point. It could be that.
Would be better if she wasn't gay. That doesn't sound very angry. It's so weird being unable to refer to a female as a she.
Wait, I'm pretty sure Rags and the boys at EFAP have framed people making pretty well-reasoned, like, measured responses to their takes as being angry, right? They've done that before, for sure, right? I am certain they've framed people making reasonable, well thought out, like not even angry, raging responses to them as angry. So it's weird how the standard is these aren't angry comments, but if you respond to him or you respond to like EFAP, or even like I'm pretty sure they'll make a video on you if you refer to EFAP in passing at this point, then you're mad. It's like, okay, anyone who gets mad about anyone online is mad. Is that the standard? We can go with that standard as long as it's consistent.
Or her because of fear. Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty reasonable for people to feel that way, right? That doesn't seem like the kind of thing people should live in fear of, especially when it comes to misspeaking or saying things that are sometimes, kind of against natural intuition. I think a lot of people legitimately are fearful of even misspeaking, where that kind of thing is treated like it's the greatest sin that a person could ever commit to another person. It's kind of
would you say the same thing about, like, racial slurs? Like, are you, like, is it terrifying and weird that you can't say the N-word without, like, social consequences and it being seen as, like, evil? Is that, like it's this basic shit, right? Like, if a behavior or a word or a phrase is seen as rude, then yeah, it's, like, considered uncouth to say it in an environment. You shouldn't say shit blast at, like, a fancy restaurant at the top of your lungs. That doesn't mean it's against your free speech. Doesn't mean your speech is restricted or, like, you're oppressed or whatever, right? Like, there are certain environments where certain combinations of words or simple words themselves are seen as so rude that there might be severe social consequences to you saying that thing. That is not censorship.
It's kind of unhinged. Going on the pronouns
True.
wagon, are we? Lol. What has the world turned into? I don't know. That doesn't sound very angry. I was about to agree with you. However, I realized that you have...
Okay. I don't want to, like, take away too much of Rag's ability to make an argument, but, like, this segment, reading the comments, I'm not interested in it, so we're going to skip through this bit.
Pronouns in your body. This could be either way. Cow, this comments and
I want to see the points of the video debunked.
Help but recall the way the word
Okay,
Not a
here we
very
go.
smart move.
and I can't help but recall the way the word triggered was plastered over titles and thumbnails alike when I was younger.
Oh, okay. You're trying to connect these as like being the same thing. Oh, what an incredibly stupid thing to do, you fool. You see,
Okay. There is a weird thing. Zeku, thank you for the $5 super chat. The EFAP crew have referred to people who responded to them as subhumans in the past. Yeah, they're real nasty to the people they go after. They've gone after me a couple times as well. But like, you know, judge me by my enemies and all that. Regardless, though, something weird that the right has tried to do over the last 4 years or so, 5 years actually, I'll put it as solid 5. Gamergate was huge back in 2014 to 2017. Gamergate was the landscape of politics online. Everybody who had any interest in politics was either an SJW or an anti-SJW, right? That was politics back then. And much of what the right ended up by the end of Gamergate is what became the current landscape of politics today. And so the right has this weird idea that like Gamergate was nothing, and if it wasn't nothing, it was good. But even if it was bad, then it has no bearing on today. You've got one section of the right saying, yeah, we're in Gamergate 2. You know, they're literally calling it Gamergate 2. And then you've got another section of the right, the one Rags is part of, that do this like weird, like smug smile on their face as they do it. Like, what are you talking about? What's this current state of politics have to do with Gamergate? And meanwhile, we've got literal quotes from Steve Bannon, who was the head, like, media guy of Trump's campaign in 2016, talking about how like Gamergate was that literally invaluable to getting Trump elected, and how he used the rage of gamers through Breitbart to radicalize them onto the side of Trump. Like they have this desperation to pretend like what it really is creators like Rags saw BreadTube come about. They saw how Gamergate died the first time around, and what caused it was a massive explosion in two things. A, progressive content creators making decent quality content debunking the right at a relatively frequent enough rate that YouTube's algorithm pushed it for a period quite heavily. And two, they hate the idea that the online left got very meta with their analysis of the right. It went from just sincerely responding to the claims of anti-SJW YouTubers to a meta-analysis of how the anti-SJW YouTube landscape actually operates. And we're seeing a similar thing happening again right now, where people are having conversations not about whether or not this game is woke or not. It's about how the people who claim these games, every new game is woke, have a pattern of just doing this with every possible popular thing to try and make money, and that it's so clearly a grift. And people had the same criticisms back then, and it led to the downfall of this era of content. You know, Rags used to pull way more viewers than this video has, is what I'll say, right? Like, he knows that when people started talking about the broader trend of Gamergate and the patterns and the problems with it, it was not good for the online right. And he does not want people drawing comparisons to today and Gamergate, and neither do a lot of conservative creators.
See, have you seen some of those videos about the crazy triggered people, the feminist owned or triggered feminists? Did you ever watch any of those videos? Those are unhinged. Those people are crazy.
Yeah, dude, I literally grew up on that shit, and it seems like the creator of the video did too.
They're yelling, they're screaming, they're pulling fire alarms, they're going on these insane...
So, there are a good handful of videos of actual, like, feminist freakouts or whatever, but you want to know what's so funny about every example on screen right now? Big Red, I mean, I guess you could call her triggered for yelling, but Big Red, her arguments haven't really aged poorly. Like, if you watch the Big Red video today, there's a reason it's not, like, viral. Even with, like, modern right-wing sentiment online, Big Red's arguments are not that, like, bad. And the fact that she's yelling, it's just an old meme. It's tired, right? But you know what meme isn't tired? The only other instance of like an actual person here is this face, the lady with the glasses. What's so funny about this is like Rags talks about it like, oh yeah, what do you think the context of this video is? Do you think this is like, because you see like the crazy face, the axe, the here's Johnny bit, right? This lady wasn't even yelling in the original video. I recommend you go back and watch the original video. The knowledge of this fact is starting to become more common. I'm hearing people talk about it more as an example of like individuals being targeted and made into a meme for political purposes. The guy who was in the like fedora like neckbeard meme, the picture of the classic guy with the fedora and like whatnot, super nice guy apparently, where he's like flipping the fedora down in the official picture. Super nice guy apparently, who that photo was leaked specifically by someone who hates him to harass him, and the meme's popularity has been entirely like for the purpose, or started for the purpose of harassing that guy specifically by some dude who just wanted to bully him. And so he became like the face of like misogynistic neckbeard incel nice guys, despite being an actually nice guy in real life. Similar situation with this lady here, where all she did, mind you, she's arguing against a guy who's saying all immigrants are rapists. Do you want to know what she is saying as an argument in response to that guy? Listen, even if a statistical majority of immigrants were rapists, that wouldn't make all of them rapists. Men are statistically far more likely to be rapists than women, but that doesn't make every man a rapist. That is literally the argument she's making when that's... And what she's doing there is they're in a big crowd. The person she's, like, debating, they're surrounded, like a big crowd of people yelling. So instead of just screaming her lungs out, she's doing that thing you do in a crowded party or whatever, like where you kind of enunciate your words with your mouth like really, really hard, as if like doing that will make it easier for whoever you're talking to understand you. It's like the club's going, and you're like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. She was basically doing that. Like doing the like trying to make it easy to read her lips thing, so the crowd's yelling and screaming all around them because they were the only ones talking at a reasonable volume in the video. Like she was doing that, and so when she made a sh syllable with her face, where she was also kind of doing this, because she was like, you ever make an argument and as you're like bringing it around, you're like, and then, where you like kind of widen your eyes a little bit. She was doing that part of the argument where you do the eyes widen and go, and then like bring it around, you know, like that basic bodily communication people do. And so they got her at that exact moment where the eyes are kind of wide and she's midway through making a sh sound as she's speaking, and they screen capped it. And if you look up triggered feminist right now on the internet, go to Google Images, that might be the first result. The full video is fully up on YouTube and available to watch. Highly recommend you go check out the original video where the clip comes from. You can see the moment where they screen capped it too to get that shot. You can see the shot in the video. So yeah, just thought I'd pull that out, because like a lot of the context of a lot of these images, like it's easy to claim 8 years ago these people were crazy, but a lot of the videos that people were freaking out about were not that crazy. Like, who remembers how many videos, I think Rags made a couple, responses there were to Milo Stewart back in the day. Milo Stewart was like the first big non-binary YouTuber. Based on the fact that every anti-SJW YouTuber, from millions of subs to a couple tens of thousands, made response videos to Milo Stewart, I thought, man, Milo Stewart must have had like hundreds of thousands of subs, maybe millions, right? Take a wild guess at how many subs Milo Stewart had when I saw their channel in 2020. In 2020, Milo Stewart had 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. Years and years after the harassment of 2016 in the Gamergate era, 30,000 subs. Milo Stewart might have been sub 10,000 subscribers, having multi-million subscriber YouTubers making responses to them on videos that were mostly just like, the videos would be things like, my favorite characters who I headcanon as trans. Like, there were videos like that were getting, like, shit on. Absolutely insane.
tirades, and many of them are doing that like IRL. This isn't some mildly perturbed YouTube comment. This is like an actual real life freak out. In no universe are these similar things.
How people delighted in
I love how it's like, okay, so there's some crazy feminist freakouts. Granted, there are some. My favorite is Humongous What. If you guys don't know the Humongous What video, you need to go watch it. That is a legitimate... You know what? We'll watch it now. We're doing a nostalgia trip by watching some rags, so we'll do a nostalgia trip and watch a real feminist freakout. Like an actual crazy, unhinged, man-hating, like, feminist freakout. Humongous What original video. The reason why so many of these figures are able to get away with this narrative is because there were extremely viral examples of actual, like, crazy feminist freakouts. This being probably my favorite, because there might not be a more cringy, hateable villain to a video than this one, you know?
So right now...
For context, the crazy feminist or whatever in question is the lady recording. She is a British journalist, I believe, who wants to talk to this guy you see in frame. Now, this guy has a daughter who had a severe drug problem. Like, this girl was killing herself with drugs, and since she was an adult, her father couldn't do anything about it. Like, it was like a Jane from Breaking Bad situation where, like, the dad is, like, completely powerless as their daughter, like, does drugs to death, you know? And it's like, what the fuck do you even do, right? The police ended up arresting her, but then getting her set up on a program that actually saved her life. And so as a father, you know, it may be cringe because, you know, people here don't like the cops or whatever, but as a father, the police saved his daughter's life. She was going to kill herself with drugs. She was going to Jane Breaking Bad. And so what he ended up doing was doing this, like, news press report thing about how the police aren't that bad, basically, was the premise. The woman who's recording, this journalist, really did not like that. He was really pissed about, or she was really pissed about the fact that he was doing pro-cop sentiment, and that's what led to this this confrontation. She meant to confront him on his pro-cop rhetoric, basically.
The news is interviewing a person whose daughter was a heroin addict, I think, is what he said in his public comment. And he's pro-bunker, he's pro-cops. And so he's the one getting interviewed, and there are like a million people who have spoken about how they've been abused by the cops, but they're not being spoken to. Only the person who's pro-bunker, who's also a person of color. So they got their token, and that's the one that they're using. And I have no idea, we'll find out.
Here it comes, guys.
I have a question. I'm actually
The legendary moment. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, sure.
It's
Hold on.
Yeah,
you want my name?
yeah, sure.
Here it is.
It's humongous.
Okay. Humongous what? Humongous,
Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
Humongous what?
Humongous what?
Humongous what?
Humongous what?
That's what it is.
Humongous what? Is that sexual harassment?
No, it's humongous.
Then why did you say that to
That's
me?
my name.
What? Humongous what?
Humongous what?
Humongous what? Is that sexual harassment? Is that what you just did when you said...
For those who don't know, he made a very obvious joke. She asked for his name, and not wanting to give it, he said, "My name's Hugh." Hugh what? Humongous. It's not a very good joke, though I think it's a reference to the fact that he's kind of a heavy-set dude. So I'm humongous is the joke. It's a very dad joke. He's literally there because he's a dad, so it makes sense. And she immediately turns it into, was that sexual harassment? Like, she goes from, it is like the most classic, like, the reason this video went so viral is it checks every box for, like, the straw man of feminism, right? She goes in, calling this guy a token because he's part of a minority group and disagrees with her politically and isn't, like, perfectly in lockstep with her ideology. She she goes from anti-cop to immediately yelling, "This man sexually harassed me," in a building full of cops. No one liked that. It's just, everything about this is like a predator seeking out a victim and trying to destroy them, is what we see on video here. This is the person recording this was a predator in this video in the way they're behaving. And so watching this, it was so easy for people to generalize this to all feminism, all left-wing people, all progressives, because God knows nobody likes this Karen. But it gets worse. Here's the part that really made this video go viral, because it gets so much worse.
That to me?
What, humongous?
Why would you say that to me?
Yes, but my name.
Why would you say that to me?
Why would I say it to
Why
you?
would you say that to me?
Why would you ask me my name?
What? Humongous what? Humongous what? Humongous what? Humongous what? This person just spoke to me in a sexually harassing way.
I did not.
Yeah, he did. He said, "Do you know what my name is?" And I said,
"You
"What?"
want my
And he
name."
said, "Humongous." Yeah. Yeah. This person just sexually harassed me.
I said I'm humongous.
Yes. Yeah, that's
On top of that, like, a bunch of women in the room, after hearing her side of the story, immediately start going, "What the fuck?" and yelling obscenities at this guy. So, like, you also get the side of it that, like, the anti-feminists like to push, that, like, this feminist we watch her falsely accuse this guy of sexual harassment, and then all the women in the room immediately believe her and start attacking the innocent guy that we know is innocent. So, like, everything about this story specifically was so perfect for the right to make, like, a boogeyman out of feminism. Because, like, how scary is it as, like, if you're a guy watching, at the idea that you might make, like, a joke, have it interpreted like this, and all of a sudden a woman is chasing you with a camera on you, screaming, calling you a sexual harasser, as every woman in earshot starts joining in. Like the crow scene, you know, in The Stand. Like, they're just all surrounding you. It's like, dude. Like, literally nothing. This is why I was a chud when I was a teenager, okay? You may think, like, Zan must have been a pretty dumb teenager to be a chud. But to be fair, the right-wing propaganda was way better back then. Most of the most viral right-wing, like, anti-SJW content was people covering stuff like this. And I mean, man, when this is your perspective of feminism, period, it's pretty hard to not hate feminism. You know, you just... it was ignorance, not stupidity. And when you're ignorant, it's easy to show people stuff like this and to paint their entire worldview with it.
Whipping overly sensitive SJW.
Whoop, hold it there. Gotta cut you off because I need to read the text that you flashed on screen. And I don't know if you want me to listen to your voice or if you want me to read what you put on screen. So we're just gonna have to do one at a time.
Is this Rags content in 2025? Really? Like, come on, man. Bring back, like, the gameplay in the foreground and, like, play clips of the video, make concise responses. Like, what is this weird, like, middle ground between streaming and prepared video? What is this? Either stream or make prepared videos. What is this, dude? What are we watching? We're 5 minutes in. I'm pausing like it's EFAP, dude. And I'm one man.
Time, all right? SJW stands for Social Justice Warrior, in case you're lucky enough to not know. Well, everyone knows that, right? The term has kind of fallen out of parlance, but I would be pretty surprised if people didn't know what that stood for.
How people
I mean, Rags, come on, man. This is so weak. As a YouTuber, you can't just assume every viewer knows parlance from 8 years ago, okay? Like, not every most of the left that's politically active right now is somewhat, like, more recently involved in politics. So, like, I'll mention, like, a very popular meme from, like, 2016. No one knows what the fuck I'm talking about. A great example is the other day, I had to explain Chatelet. No one knew what the fuck I was talking about when I referenced Chatelet. And so I had to explain that was, like, one of the original, like, 4chan memes, like the 4chan trolling ops, where it's like, this song evokes Pepe, so we're going to use it to troll the liberal media. I had to explain that to people. So yeah, not everybody around today was around 8 years ago to know what the fucking SJW is. The fuck is that? Yeah, even right now people in chat are asking what the fuck Chatelet is.
delighted in whipping overly sensitive SJWs into a frenzy just by saying something quote-unquote problematic.
It's a good thing you put problematic in quotations, because that was very often the specific word that was used by the people being made fun of, to the point where the word became associated with triggered lefties and feminists and SJW types. Yep.
Yes, the alt-right and anti-SJWs did a really good job at making innocuous words that mean something into bad words that are meant to be like, okay, if you hear someone say problematic, immediately turn your brain off and refuse to listen to anything they have to say. Like, yeah, you guys did a pretty good job at that back in the day. I was part of that, you know? I was watching the content. I was a fan.
Even back then, they were ruining words or turning them useless. I guess some things never change.
I remember the
All right, you did the thing again, where I don't know if I'm supposed to listen to you or if I'm supposed to pause your video and read the text you've put at the bottom instead of you just having the
Oh, good.
text.
We're getting this particular, taken out of context frame acknowledged in this video.
Be something you say as a part of your video. This clip is the source of one of the most famous triggered feminist pictures, and it's a single frame from a completely reasonable conversation. This is mostly true. You can check out the original conversation in multiple forms. It's easy to find.
Nice.
But yeah, she's not being super crazy or anything. She's just expressive, and it was paused on an unflattering frame. Though I will say that if you watch the original video, you will find that this woman here is talking to him about how 1 in 3 women in the United States are raped while this frame is happening. It's a very contentious statistic, and you...
It's a contentious statistic, sure, though it's broadly accepted, and her argument is not 1 in 3 women are raped. That's not the core of her argument. The argument she's making is 1 in 3 women are raped. That doesn't make every man a rapist. That is what she says. That is distinct. The idea of a crazy feminist saying not every man is a feminist after bringing up that, or not every man is a feminist, not every man is a rapist, as like an argument, just doesn't vibe. There's a reason why that detail is being left out, because immediately after she says that doesn't mean... Let's watch the clip. Let's watch the clip. Let's watch the clip. You know what? We've been watching this Rags video for 30 minutes. I feel like this is a good place to wrap it, because good lord, I hate to say it, but Rags content is not as well argued as it used to be. I guess he's just spent too much time on EFAP getting his brain rotted. Let's see. Original, red shirt, glasses, feminist video. Feminsit. Can I find the video? None of the YouTube results are accurate. Yeah, here's a video about the lady.
Have you ever seen these faces before? This meme is called Triggered Feminist, or Fakey Fiona. Although it's almost 7 years old at this point, it's still incredibly common all over the internet, especially among right-wing content creators. But at this point, everyone has either seen or used it at least once in their life. I mean, while procrastinating on writing this script, I was watching a random video about graphics card technology, and then boom, I got jump scared. Now, what if I told you that this meme is one of the biggest lies on the internet? That not only was this woman not even remotely triggered, but that those specific images were taken completely out of...
By the way, this shot right here is her halfway through saying that doesn't make every man a rapist. That's literally... They took the script. It's so blatant too. Like they literally took a frame of her to make her seem like a crazy feminist, of her actively saying not every man is a rapist. The words coming from her mouth in that frame are the sentence, not every man is a rapist, which she is using as an argument. She's supposedly this crazy feminist, the narrative being that all men are evil, yeah. And yet she is arguing maybe the least crazy feminist stereotypical argument you could imagine. Like, there's a reason why people talk about just how disingenuous this was. It's not just that she isn't triggered or screaming, it's that her arguments aren't even unreasonable. They took someone who was making reasonable arguments, who wasn't crazy, and they framed it and took it out of context to make her look crazy. And that was the core point of the video Rags was responding to, which is why he kept getting lost in weird minutia that had no bearing on the video, responding to random comments in the argument that those comments were mad. Like, who the fuck gives a shit whether or not the video was wrong in the statement that the hate comments on the previous videos are angry people? Who cares? It's not an important topic. of the video. It has nothing to do with the core argument. It's just getting lost in stupid minutia to inflate the runtime of the video, A, and also B, to avoid the real point of the video, which is, here is an example in which objectively someone was taken out of context and crazy made to a large audience in order to strawman the left and avoid actually acknowledging the real arguments that the left makes, which is, funnily enough, exactly what is being done here. Avoiding making acknowledging the arguments the left is actually making, and using straw men to do it. Here's the original video, by the way.
But as I said, I have it right here. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this video just to set the scene.
It's caused by desperation of white people.
Check.
People are afraid.
You'll notice consistently, she's the calmest person in the crowd. It's not just that she isn't, like, yelling. She is the calmest person in the crowd. And she might be a conservative. Based on the crowd there, she might be a conservative. Like, this doesn't seem like a liberal conservative rally. This seems like it's some kind of, like, event or conservative rally where there's like an argument between conservatives. Like, this might not, the lady in the video might not even be liberal or even a Democrat voter. We don't even know who she is or what the event is. Everyone there looks conservative, though. And if you're wondering how I can say someone looks conservative, you know, MAGA hats, the wife beater that's like an American flag. Come on. No,
I'm not racist. I'm not a Mexican. So you understand what's going on in Europe. Sweden right now is entertaining the idea of making a female-only pools because they can't control the amount of rapes that are going on. Media in Europe is telling women, do not go out past 9 o'clock.
So these are good examples of long since, like, dead right-wing talking points meant to fearmonger. Funnily enough, this guy looks vaguely brown and has a neck tattoo. This dude's probably actively getting reported or deported by Trump's government, in case you want to think about that, because this is the racist guy in the video. He is repeating a talking point where the claim is that Sweden was having to make women-only pools because of the Muslim rape gangs, a very common talking point back then. Eventually, the truth got out that Sweden actually has such high rape stats because Sweden, legally speaking, takes rape very seriously, way more so than the US, where like there's a very high standard of proof to the point where a lot of rapists get away with it, famously in America. In Sweden, much less so. They go hard on that shit. And on top of that, every individual case of rape is considered a separate case. That is to say, if a father serially rapes their daughter, every time it happened is a separate rape case in the criminal justice stats. In America, it's just one count, or not one count, but it's like one instance of the crime when it's like statistically measured. So Sweden and frankly a lot of European countries do, well, not the UK for that matter, but a lot of European countries just have different ways of tracking this stuff and are a lot more like open about like preventing these things and talking about these things happening and seeking out help from the police when it does, because there will be justice, severely imposed justice. And so because Sweden was actually doing good work to prevent rape in their country, the right utilized that and weaponized it to try to push the idea that immigrants are mass raping people in Sweden. That meme talking point died years and years ago, but much like the talking points that are nonsense today that won't make it like a few years from now, like they'll be long dead and no one will be saying these things anymore. This is one of those classic like nonsense talking points the right buried and forgot about long ago.
Night. You are getting you're getting people that can't go out. Women can't go out dressed like this because she's being provocative, because she doesn't have a
Girls are not allowed to wear skirts to school anymore in Germany because it might tempt the migrants to rape them.
Okay, let's pause right here. So
no, I already explained that story was made up. All right, here's the clip.
There's not rapists coming into just because they're refugees doesn't mean they're fucking rapists.
But they're raping people in Germany.
You know, my parents are immigrants.
I got a story.
My fucking parents are immigrants. No, not even a fucking big percentage. Tiny.
How many women in the U.S.
Get raped. Do you know how many?
1 in every 3
Fuck
women.
ton. A
That
fuck
means
ton.
that all Americans
That's a crisis. There's a rape crisis. Exactly.
So literally, like, calling out her logic of, like, do you think all Americans are rapists by your logic? Like, obviously not. Like, this isn't like an SJW opinion. She's just expressive. Here, we even paused it on a frame where I bet you could make a meme out of this. You know? She's just an expressive person. That's actually a very common, like, this meta of, like, mischaracterizing people and crazy making them has gotten really common. Like, if you ever see a hate video about a content creator online, do you ever see ones where it's, like, just a picture of them, you know? Like, it's always, especially these days, like, the meta is to Photoshop a photo of someone that you're, like, making a video about that's negative, right? Like openly Photoshopping it, right? There's got to be, like, a YouTube channel, or not a YouTube channel, a Reddit or something for, like, slop thumbnails about other creators where it's, like, Photoshopped to make the creator they're talking about look uglier. Ethan Klein gets a lot of that shit. I've actually gotten a decent amount of it. There's a picture of me where I'm, like, intentionally making the funniest, most, like, insane, like, angry triggered face I can, like, my mouth wide open, like, ah, and like, it's intentionally meant to be funny, but it's been years since I made that face. So the context has gone away, but people still share around the photo. So now people use that photo in hate videos, but they don't just use the photo, like, as is. There's a version of it that I've seen a lot used where they Photoshop out my teeth. So it looks like I have no teeth and it's all gums. I'm sure you guys have seen that, right? Like, I'm sure some of you guys had to have seen that photo where it's like, in the original, you can see my teeth and stuff, but they Photoshopped it so it looks like I'm missing all of my teeth for some reason. I guess it does make me look more, like, unhinged and, like, disheveled and, like, fucked up. Like, fuck, I don't even know where I'd find the image to, like, show it. But, like, yeah, I actually seen that thumbnail on hate videos before. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, the right is big on this idea of warping the appearance of someone to make them look ugly and crazy. Because, like, they don't even want to seed the idea that the opposition could be normal looking, right? Like, it's you know, it's always been the meta for them to, like, do that kind of thing. They've been doing it for a long time, and they will continue to do it into the future. In fact, in reference to the fact that Rags once ordered Rule 34 commissioned of his dog avatar, yes, that is real. That was one of the first big dramas he faced back in the day, was commissioning porn of his dog avatar. In reference to that, if you watched all the way into this video and you want to let me know that you watched all the way to the end and you want to help boost the channel and the algorithm while you're at it, comment down below, leave the dogs alone. It'll let me know you watched all the way to the end, and it will really help in the algorithm as well. You can also drop a like if you want to go the extra mile and boost the channel and the algorithm even further. It really does help, as does subscribing and ringing the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload new videos in the future. And of course, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, you can follow my social medias, linked down below in the description, especially including my Discord server, which is the main hub of my community and fan base, and it's the main place where I host gaming events, call-in streams, and watch parties, as well as announcing all my new uploads and streams. So if you don't want to miss anything and you want to be a part of all the cool community events and get it, you know, live announcements for everything, join my Discord. It's the place to be. And finally, if you want to support me directly, financially, you want to help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buy some custom Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below in the description. Regardless of how you support me, though, thank you so much for watching, as always, and have a good one.